Good morning, Ghana. Good morning, lovely listeners of GhanaTalks Radio. It's a beautiful, brand new day, a beautiful Monday morning, and you are welcome to our news headline review. Here we bring you the latest headline making waves in the news, from politics to business, from sports to entertainment, and everything in between. We bring you the most relevant stories that matter right here on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. As usual, I remain your host, Esna Fiagbedu. And joining me today on our news headline review is Miss Regina Bless and Miss Debbie Adoso. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
Great.
I'm great.
How did the weekend treat you, by the way?
Manageable.
Manageable.
Yeah.
I learned you went for a sleepover, Miss G.
Miss who?
I learned you went for a
No.
sleepover.
I couldn't.
Oh, you couldn't?
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's okay. All right, so let's dive straight into our news headline for today. Gifty Owari detained over NSA payroll fraud probe. Gifty Owari Mensah, a former deputy director of the National Service Authority and a current member of the Ghana Football Association Executive Council, has been detained by the National Investigation Bureau in connection with an ongoing payroll fraud investigation within the National Service Authority. She was reportedly arrested on Friday, March 7th, and has since been denied bail despite multiple attempts to secure her release. Initial reports suggest that former New Patriotic Party General Secretary John Boadu had signed for her bail. However, she was later moved from the NIB premises and her current whereabouts remain unknown. Earlier this week, Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin confirmed that Owari Mensah had been prepared to face the NIB regarding her alleged involvement in the NSA ghost name scandal. So finally, Gifty Owari sits down in Ghana and has been detained by NIB in relation to the ghost name fraud probe. Yeah. What do you make of the story?
Okay, so first of all, this is a great step they've taken. The NIB, this is a great step they've taken to detain her. But the only problem I have now is no one knowing her whereabouts. That is the issue I have. So if no one knows her whereabouts, it also means that her legal team do not know her whereabouts also. And I feel that this should be a major concern for all. Fine, she's done something wrong, which we would at the end we will know the final verdict, whether she's at fault or not at fault. But to the extent of no one knowing her whereabouts, it should be something pressing, should be something I'll say the OSP should look into, because if something happens now, what would they say? And also, with she being arrested, this tells that Ghanaian or government is ever ready to combat the issue of corruption, and also to make sure that all financial officials or anyone in government, anyone having power, would be accountable for his or her actions. Yes, actions. So with that said, it's a great deal.
Okay, so before you come in, Ms. Debbie, let's break this story down here. So the investigation into the payroll fraud within the NSA highlights effort to tackle corruption and uphold financial transparency in a public institution. So Oware Mensah's status as a public figure, along with her alleged involvement in the NSA ghost name scandal, makes this case particularly significant. Here lies the case. She was the executive
deputy executive director.
Yes, to the NSA, and then you have been called out for corruption and questioning that raises some kind of like an eyebrow. But here's my problem. The reported involvement of John Boadu, a former NPP general secretary, in attempting to secure bail adds a political dimension to the case. This person has been detained for the crime she has committed, and then you want to bail her out.
And also, I saw somewhere Alexander Fenyo-Makin said this lady is prepared to answer all questions. So I was like, does this thing looks like a political something, or does these people know something about it? Because the rate at which everyone is, so, especially the MPPs, are interested in this, we are not saying these people have a hand in it, but they are making us question their loyalty to the public. Let me use Mahama for example. He came out to specifically say that either NPP, either NDC, you would be held accountable for your actions. This is not the time to be beating around the bush. She's an NDC, she's an MPP, this and this and this and this and that. If you're at fault, you would be taken to custody. If you are supposed to be jailed for a long time, you would be jailed. So with what John Boadu did, and with what micro minority leader is also doing, I feel they should take their time, else certain allegations will be leveled against them, even if it's not true.
Miss Debbie, what's your opinion on the story?
Well, I feel like they want to politicize this particular case. The NSS scandal was a huge loss to the country, because those ghost name and then number of time money has been paid to people that do not exist. It's a huge financial loss to the state, and this is a sensitive issue that needs to be critically taken care of. They've started, so they should end war. And this is a case where the woman has been detained, which means she's a suspect, and this is the time where they're going to do more inquiry, investigate more to ensure whether she is guilty or not. Well, since she's detained, we cannot just sit here and finalize that, well, she's guilty or she's not guilty, unless further investigations, further inquiries, questions are being asked, and we know that yes, she's guilty. We are sitting back and we know that, well, this is what is going on. But till they come out to tell us that after the investigation and inquiries they find her guilty, we cannot say she's guilty. But this is what I'm saying. We are hoping that this incident will not end the way we used to see it, in the sense that issues like this pop out, and then at the end of the day, like, it drains down, we don't hear anything about it, the culprit is being set free, and then it still continue. So I feel like when more investigation is done and more inquiries are being gathered, and they feel like she's guilty, they should let us know, and the necessary steps should be taken to serve as a deterrent to others.
And I'm not much into this legal thing, but one thing I know is for someone to be detained, you can only be detained with a charge. And when there's no charge, you can't be detained for more than 24 hours.
So is she being charged or she's under investigation?
She's under investigation.
Yeah,
so
and
she hasn't been charged yet.
She hasn't been charged, or she has been charged.
Not yet.
So she's under
investigation. It is through the investigation will be know that she's whether like she's culpable for that particular crime or not. That is when we will be able to know, yes, this is the evidence that shows that truly she has a hand in it. But
without a charge,
yes, it means
she can be released.
Okay. Sorry, but with the due with the attempt bill, we saw that the NPP General Secretary, which is John Bredu, tried to bail her out, and due to that, the NIB had to move her to another residence. And here lies the case: her residence is unknown. Don't you think there should be some kind of transparency in the investigation?
Yes, there should be transparency. With this saying her whereabouts is not known, it also means that her legal team in charge of her case also do not know her whereabouts, which is very wrong. As I stated earlier, you can't charge someone, you can't detain someone more than 24 hours without a charge. And here lies the case: she's only under investigation. There's no evidence that shows that she's at fault. You've not also come out to formally charge her of this crime, that she's a corrupt official involved in this NSA ghost names, this scandal or whatever. There's no evidence of that. So first of all, she has the right to be bailed. Secondly, she has the right to be set free. And thirdly, her whereabouts not being known is a question mark, and it shouldn't be condoned at all.
You think she has the right to be billed when she's under
she
investigation?
has the right to be billed because she hasn't been charged formally.
So why do you think they are refusing her bill?
Because she's a suspect, and this is a case where we are saying that if I'm being suspected of a crime and I'm being detained, they are investigating me. And so until they are done, there is no way you can tell, like, they should grant me bail. Well, we are not the lawyers though, but there is no way they can grant me bail when I'm under investigation. Because they have to investigate to know, yes, there is a proof out there that this number of ghost name existed and this amount has been paid, and it is alleged that she has a hand in it. But until they are done with their investigation to confirm that truly what we are seeing out there is what it is, then we can say that, well, she can be jailed, or if she's free, she can be granted a bail. But as she said, like, I mean, hiding her whereabouts is also something that is not good enough, because this is a general this is an issue that is a concern to the state, and so every detail of that particular issue has to be known to us. But in a case where they are trying to hide it, it means there is something wrong somewhere. Well,
for me, I'm just hoping that the NIB will be transparent with the investigation.
Per article 14 of the 1992 Constitution, it says bail should be granted if the person arrested or detained is not tried within a reasonable time. The duty to grant bail arising is in such situation remains applicable irrespective of the circumstances surrounding the nature of the offense. I rest my case.
So she has the right to be bailed. Well, reasons known to themselves, but we are just hoping that they'll be transparent enough in their investigation. So moving on to our next headline. I'm puzzled and dismayed. Oforiatta reacts to OSP investigation. Former Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta has broken his silence on the criminal investigation against him by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, expressing frustration over recent developments. In an open letter dated February 26th, Mr. Oforiatta described the situation as confusing and distressing and felt the need to set the record straight. His reaction follows an OSP issued wanted notice against him, which was later revoked. According to the OSP, the investigation focused on the various financial dealings, including the Strategic Mobilization GRA contract, ECG BXC contract termination, payments related to the National Cathedral, procurement of the ambulances, and the use of the tax refund accounts. Amid growing public scrutiny, the OSP later confirmed that Mr. Oforiatta had officially communicated plans to return voluntarily. As a result, he was removed from the wanted list, though the office cautioned that the failure to return as promised will result in further legal actions. What are your thoughts?
I feel like this is a setting to me because while he was sick, as at the time the OSP came out to release to make that comment that he has been charged with certain issues or certain things they see it to be a crime or something, like the National Cathedral, a lot of money has been funded into it. At the end of the day, we didn't even see how it went. The cathedral wasn't completed, and he was the finance minister as at that time. He sends budgets to parliament. Funds has been allocated. In fact, everything that has to do with money, he's in charge. And so if there is any question mark somewhere, he has to come out to speak for himself or defend himself that this is it, this is not it. But you see, even if you are sick and they are leveling a charge against you, you can as well say something, you get it. But that time he said he wasn't feeling well and a whole lot, and now you're coming out to say that you're puzzled and you don't really know what is going on and a whole lot. Well, as I said earlier on, I feel like it's a setting, but no matter how it seems, no matter how we are looking at it, what we are pleading is that the OSP came out to say something. We want it to be very transparent. We don't want a case where, like, he came out to put an issue forward that this is it, this is what they've alleged that the former finance minister was involved into, that has caused a loss to the state, and so he's being wanted. And then at the end of the day, they also came out to tell us that because of some 1 or 2 issues, he cannot come again because he wasn't feeling well. That's what we heard. And now he came out saying that he's puzzled. So as I said, for me, I feel like it's a setting, but the right thing must be done. Whether he's puzzled or not, the necessary step has to be taken. And he has to undergo the necessary procedures. And at the end of the day, they should let us know the outcome of it. And I feel like this whole issue, whether there's a NSA scandal and this thing, I feel like they want to politicize everything. But we should just, issues like this are very sensitive. So we should lay aside politics, deal with the matter as it is. If the person is found culpable, he should face the law.
But how are they politicizing this?
You see, before the OSP came out with this issue, his house was raided. Okay. And he himself came out to say, in a way, he came out to say that they are just doing this thing to, like, tarnish his image or make it seem as if, like, he set it up. And even the OSP came to apologize. Was it the OSP or who came to apologize? The majority OSP leader also came apologizing that it wasn't intentional or something. And we were like, it's against the right. And I feel like they are politicizing it in a way that when the issue came out, everywhere you go, every television, every social media, we were talking about it. Then all of a sudden, they say he's no more a fugitive. And it became so silent. And people were, raising questions and stuff. How? And you see, we were saying that, well, you are the office, the OSP. And I know, as for the OSP, you do your work very well. And I know he's doing his work very well. You investigate and make sure that what you are saying is really the truth, because you've done your homework very, very well. And he's doing it. Okay. But just feel like you coming to tell me something, and then at the end of the day, you change your mind again. How do you expect me to feel? I feel like it's like what you are doing. You don't you are telling me something, but you are not certain of what you are saying.
Okay.
So in a way, that's how I feel.
So with the OSP coming out to revoke him as not wanted any longer, could it be that they haven't gathered enough evidence?
50%, it can be 50% true. Because you see, if someone is being wanted, you cannot come out to say that. I cannot just come out to sit on air or be announcing to people that SNM is wanted because I saw her taking maybe money from Deborah's purse. But when they ask me to bring an evidence, I have no evidence to prove that you took the money, but I'm certain that you took the money. So how do you want me to, like, how do I want people to believe that what I'm saying is the truth? But you see, the OSP actually brought out cases that truly tells that he was, associated with something that has to do with the National Cathedral and other cases that they have mentioned. But until thorough investigation and a lot of homework is done, you cannot just come out to say something. You have to be certain about what you are saying and to ensure that you have vivid evidence and a whole proof that shows that true the person is culpable or the person is guilty. So as it stands now, we are still waiting to know what will come out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say it's unfortunate that the special prosecutor would declare someone wanted. And still come out to say from the horse's own mouth still come out to say that this person is no longer a fugitive due to one or two communications. So I believe that first of all, before the special prosecutor will come out to declare someone wanted, the prosecutor is exercising his right, he's exercising his mandate, and I believe that he wouldn't just wake up one day and just declare someone wanted just like that. Legal communications will go through. He would first of all be in touch with the legal team of this person who would be declared wanted. But I feel where there is lack of communication, that is where these odd things are happening. Because if the legal team were present, if Ken Ofori-Atta had come out or had been in touch with the office of the special prosecutor to give a vivid reason as to why, this is the time I wouldn't be able to be available, he wouldn't have come out to declare him wanted. And also, let's look at the functions of the special prosecutor, the deputy special prosecutor, and the office as a whole. First of all is to arrest, search and take possession of documents, seizure of suspected founded property, movable and immovable, and also direct declaration of property and income, freezing of property, and a whole lot. And also the office for the purpose of its function authorized by the Attorney General to initiate and conduct the prosecution of corruption and corruption related offenses. This brings us to the story at hand. The last time I made a comment saying the special prosecutor has no right to declare him wanted, but after much observation, after much reading and understanding, he has the right to do that because he has the evidences attached to it that this man, because if he doesn't have the evidence, there's no way he would even come out to declare you wanted. Because to declare someone wanted is a whole level on its own. If you would remember, then times, if someone is arrested, they'll just arrest the person as a suspect and would bring the person's face to the public. But this time around, that thing is no longer there. When you are being arrested as a suspect, your face is not shown to the public. Even if it's a picture, your face is being blurred because after the investigations, you might be innocent and your image is already tarnished. But here lies the case. Ken Ofori-Atta, I don't have any evidence supporting my claim that he is guilty, but the special prosecutor knows what he's doing. He knows his job very well. That is why he came out to say that he is wanted. And the only problem most of us have with him is for him to still come out and say that this person is no longer wanted. That is it. People will question your loyalty. People will question you. Do you really know your job? Do you really know what you are doing?
All right. So looking at the OSP's investigation into Kenneth Oratta's issue, in your own opinion, do you think our justice system is working? Like, are you beginning to have confidence in our justice system? And looking at the rule of law, nobody is above the law, irrespective of your position. As long as you are caught by the law, you should be given that judgment. Are you beginning to have confidence?
I am not beginning.
Because it's not only Kenneth Oratta. We've seen other issues with regards to Gifty Oware, the NSS, and now we have Kenneth Oratta.
We wouldn't have confidence in our rule of law if it's only just talks. We would have confidence when we see a practicality aspect of it. When these people are being tried, if these people are being detained, not only detained, but a final verdict, a long-lasting solution verdict is given to this situation at hand, where maybe their assets are being freezed, they have to pay the amount they squandered, they would be jailed for this period of time, even though you are being jailed, so you have to settle that amount. That is where we would know that our rule of law is working. That is where we would have confidence again in the government. But you can't just say these people are being arrested and that is all. Everyone will be arrested, but what is the end result of it? What do we see after they are being arrested? The only thing we hear is nothing else. No news aftermath. Now quite a foolish case.
So it shouldn't be just talks alone, but we want to see actions.
Yeah, action.
Moving on to our next headline. Finance Minister engages market women in Kayaye ahead of 2025 budget. Finance Minister Dr. Kassel Atuforsen has concluded an insightful engagement with the market women, Kayaye, that is the headquarters, and other traders at Makula Market. The meeting provided an opportunity to listen to their concerns and expectations ahead of the 2025 budget presentation on Tuesday, 11th March. Describing the interaction as a privilege, Dr. Forson acknowledged the vital role these hardworking Ghanaians play in sustaining the economy. The discussion centered on economic challenges affecting small-scale traders, including inflation, taxation, and access to credit. Dr. Forson assured the traders that their concerns will be considered in shaping policies for the upcoming budget, noting that their input is crucial in determining the country's economic direction. You think that's the way forward?
Yeah. Well, let me start from this side. One thing that drained the previous government was because they didn't want to listen to the people on the ground. Those times they were skyrocketed of prices of goods. Today things have increased and stuff, but then when they go to speak, like to read what they've written, they say something that is not even contrary to what we are facing down there. And so these people, they are traders. They go to market, they buy, they sell. They know the prices of goods, and they know how it is business is like on the basic grounds. So if you want to fix the economy, or you want to fix the finances of the country, you have to go down to the people, ask them what their concerns are, what their expectations are. When you do all these things, it helps you to put together things or orders that will benefit not only the Ghanaian but the people as well. Because trust me, if our finances is affected, it affects everybody. You can't tell me that you can sit a day without eating, or you can sit a day without drinking water. It all boils down to the money. You use money to do everything. You go to the market, you buy. When goods and prices of goods are skyrocketed, it affects you. Because imagine you are taking this amount of money, you are taking maybe an amount of money which like you feel like it's good for you, but day in day out prices of things are being increased, and then your salary is not being increased. It affects you. And you know the sellers at the down, they know what they are going through, because some of them import staffs to sell here, and sometimes when you go to buy the things they'll be like meow yeah too, and sometimes they will tell you that it's the taxes and stuffs, so you get it. So going down to the people, it's a good one, trust me. So it helps them. So if you're putting together the budget, you know how to put it to benefit the people, to benefit the market seller, to benefit the buyer, and to benefit the citizen. And at the end of the day, it benefits everyone.
Yes, Regina.
Okay, so my learned colleague has said a lot, right? Has said a lot, because it's rare with this kind of situation. It's very rare for a minister put in charge of a sector to come down to the level of the people and take their decisions or take their opinions on this. I can't remember when a tax was being brought out, even though this government came out to listen to what people had to say, people were vehemently against that tax introduction. But what did they do? They rather still went ahead to initiate that tax and did a whole lot of unspeakable things about it. Now here lies the case of finance minister Ato Forsen. I can't remember, one person in parliament called him incompetent, called him all sorts of names, saying he doesn't really have any idea about the finance sector. But for him to be appointed for how many days, to even have the thoughts, the interest of the people at heart, is a great deal to me. It's a great deal to Ghanaians, and also it's a great deal to the market women. And I'll say the economy lies largely on our market women, because these people go day in and day out. They are the ones who, should I say, have an interaction with the money each and every time. They are the ones who increase, decrease things each and every time. So for you to go out, tomorrow is the budget reading, I guess. For you to go out, take their opinions, their suggestions about the upcoming budget, and also things that hinders the growth and things that is a situation or a problem to them, to be included in the budget, I say it's something that should be applauded.
But how do you think the government will ensure that the concern of these market women is being incorporated into their budget for tomorrow?
Since they've taken a step,
they will initiate
it. They will initiate it. So let's just take for instance, the other time we were talking about people importing vehicles and spare parts from other countries, and they were like, on a particular goods you paid about 24 24 taxes on a particular good. So just imagine I'm importing the most costly things in this country has to do with spare parts, because the drivers will tell you that when they go to buy spare part, there's no reduction on it, and the one selling the spare part will also tell you that the taxes they pay on it is very much. So what they can do is to minimize those taxes and ensure that if I'm paying 21 tax and God willing from 21 to 1% tax, just imagine I'll reduce the price for you to also feel comfortable. But when I reduce the price, automatically it affects everyone. When the driver goes to buy the spare part, and then what the sales he makes a day does not, what he has bought doesn't really affect his income. He also reduces fare. The fare also reduces. And let's take fuel also, for instance. Fuel prices always, goes up day in and day out, and the driver will be telling you that the fuel prices, and then you say until 5 cities now, it's not enough. So we have to make it 10 cities so we can also get. And trust me, some of those drivers too, the vehicles they use, it's not for them. They also pay the owners. So just imagine that fuel prices are reduced, duties or taxes on import goods are also reduced. And trust me, those tomatoes and apples we buy, some of them are being imported from other countries to this country. Even pepper, even salt, common salt, we even import them. So just imagine all these things are being reduced. And one more thing, a cedi to also $1 is also another major factor. If all these petty things are being checked, trust me.
Yeah, I must say that I commend Dr. Kasalato Forsen for taking this upon himself to go and engage with the market women, because I believe that you wouldn't be able to know the challenges they are going through as market women and then traders if you do not engage with them. So I think that was a good one, showing efforts and then inclusivity in governance. That will go a long way. Yeah. So this is where we draw the curtains for our news headline review. You can join us tomorrow, same time, 7 a.m. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill.
It's another brand new week on Debbie's Grill. Thank you for making time with me as always. We are sorry in the previous week we couldn't make it to you because we have to attend to something very urgent. And trust me, on Debbie's Grill we delve into pressing issues of the country. Now I want us to read this together. Mahama champions collaboration between Bamako visit. President John Dramani Mahama paid a working visit to Mali on Saturday, where discussions focused on strengthening bilateral relations, addressing regional security concerns, and fostering economic growth. Mr. Mahama noted that the visit underscored the enduring friendship between the two nations, built upon a foundation laid by their founding fathers, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and President Kenyatta. The visit continues President Mahama's effort to engage with neighboring countries and strengthen Ghana's policy of good neighborliness. Now today I want us to talk about the strength of Africa, our strength as African. Now, what is the strength of Africa? Our strength as Africa, or our strength as Africans, is unity. Where there's unity, there is progress and development. Where there is unity, uninvited terrorists cannot invade our territory. When there is unity, we fought together as one people. Now, when President Mahama visited Mali, there was a lot of criticism because they felt like, we all know, because there have been coup in Mali, coup in Burkina Faso, and coup in Niger. And they felt like it was very wrong for President Mahama to visit all those countries. But trust me, we are Africans. And so building a cordial relationship with our neighboring country is a step to progress, is a step to development. Ghana cannot do it alone. Niger cannot do it alone. Nigeria cannot do it alone. And so we come together as one people and we forge forward for growth and for development. Now, this was what our first president, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, was fighting for. You see, our growth as a country, not only in Ghana but Africa, is retarding or lacking behind because there is no unity and there is no togetherness. Just look at when our president was inaugurated. Look at the people that came. It was very nice seeing the president of Burkina Faso, seeing the president of Nigeria, seeing the president of other countries coming together. That was very nice. And you see, when we come together as a country, the people, the Western world, will not have, full control over us again. And this has been our problem for so long. There is no unity, there is no togetherness. We fight against each other and we expect to move forward. No, it doesn't happen that way. We have to be together and fight for what is ours. Trust me, when we are united as one people, as Africans, there is no way a person can invade or have his way through us. And because these things do not exist with us as Africans, our growth and our development is being lagged behind as a country. Now, what is the essence of unity among African? Economic empowerment. I said it, we cannot do it alone. When the current president came into power, the energy sector was going through some sort of crisis, and they have to contact Nigeria for help. So just imagine that we have no cordial relationship between Ghana and Nigeria, or there is no strengthened relationship between us and Nigeria. How are we going to survive? It's going to be very, very difficult. Cultural exchange and preservation. And African unity promote the celebration and preservation of the continent's rich cultural diversity. And conflict resolution and peace. That's when we have the ECOWAS, we have the AOUs, and all the ones in your head. All these groups comes together, work and plan for the benefit of a country as a nation. I heard people saying that because Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali was involved in a coup and they were taken out from the ECOWAS, there is no way they should have a bond with other African countries, and it's very wrong for President Mahama to be visiting those countries. And you see, I earlier on said that Ghana cannot do it alone, Togo cannot do it alone, Nigeria cannot do it, even Burkina Faso cannot do it alone. And when we come together as one people with one set of mindset, trust me, Africa will work again, and Africa as a whole will stand again. But where there is this unity, where Togo is thinking the other way, Ghana is thinking a different way, there is no way we are going to thrive. There is no way we are going to make it to the top. And so petty things like this, building connections with other countries, help us as individual countries as well, because we also import from other African countries and they also import from our countries. So it's like hand goes, hand comes. But if we sit down and we be like, because Burkina Faso was involved in a coup and Niger was involved in a coup, we should just let them be. No, we have to hold the hands of each other. One may go down. Yes, it's not always that you'll be at the top, but when the other is draining, you'll help them to stand on their feet. And we all know what led to the coup in these African countries. You can tell. We are in a country, African country. Yes, Africans. We know how we are when we get power. And we know that our time is due, we don't want to leave. And even if things are going very bad, we don't want to accept it. Why won't coup occur? I am not here to actually promote coup in African countries, but what I'm saying is that when the unity that binds us together as one is broken, there is distraction. And when the unity that binds us as one people is being distorted, we have people that will invade into our territories and take over us. And trust me, God has blessed Africa a lot. What don't we have as African countries? We have the gold, we have the bauxite, we have the natural resources, but what do we do with it? We are rather draining ourselves, doing all sorts of things, all manner of things to hurt our own self because of a selfish gain. That's why Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was an activist for Pan-Africanism. Let that reign. This morning, this is the little thing I want to preach to us as an African country. For us to thrive, for us to progress, and for us to see what we've purported to see, then there have to be unity among us. That unity has to reign, and if that unity does not reign among us as African, trust me, we are not going to see what we want to see, and the Western world will continue to control us, and they'll be the lead. We claim to be independent, and we've just celebrated our Independence Day just last week. But I want you to ask yourself this question: are we truly independent as African? Let that be in your mind. Thank you for making time with me. This is Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much. That was Debbie's Grill. Let's hear from you, Regina. What do you have for us today in history?
Okay, so welcome to Today in History with Miss Regina Bliss. So Harley Quinn Brown was an African American born free on March 10th, 1845. According to some sources, she became an acclaimed illusionist, educator, author, and political activist who lived an extraordinary life of service and commitment as she fought for the right of African American people, and especially African American women. She is frequently credited as being one of the most remarkable black leaders, especially notable during the enormous period of Reconstruction. On this day, the prosecution case closes in the treason trial when Nelson Mandela was one of the last 30 accused. On this day, a devastating mine disaster kills over 1,000 workers in Courès, France. On March 10, 1906, an underground fire sparked a massive explosion that virtually destroyed a vast maze of mines. On this day, 1876, Alexander Graham Bell conducted the successful experiment with the telephone. This breakthrough, during which he uttered his famous directive to his assistant, Thomas Watson, is recorded in the March 10th entry in his 1875 to 1876 lab notebook. In a strongly worded document that defines the moral standards of the Roman Catholic Church, the Vatican has condemned artificial insemination, embryo and sperm banks, surrogate parenthood, and the technology that produces test tube babies. The paper released on this day also calls on governments to outlaw all such procedures as well as abortion. Moving to some did you know facts. Did you know that carrots are very low in fat, containing nearly 0 grams of fat per serving, making them a healthy and nutritious choice? Did you also know that rainwater contain vitamin B12, though the levels are typically very low? This is because microorganisms in the atmosphere and on the ground produce vitamin B12, and some of these microorganisms can get caught in the rain and produce the vitamin as a byproduct. Did you also know that bats are the only mammals capable of true flight, belonging to the order Chiripotera, meaning hand wing, and their wings are modified hands with skin stretched between the fingers? Did you know that when recognizing a person's face, you use the right side of your brain? Yes. While both hemispheres play a role, The right hemisphere of the brain is generally considered the primary area for face recognition, with the left hemisphere also involved in processing facial information. Did you know that people wear wedding rings on the left hand's fourth finger because of an old belief from Egypt? They thought a vein called vena amoris, or vein of love, went straight to the heart from this finger. And that's all for today on Today in History. And did you know?
Thank you so much, Miss Regina. They said if you want to recognize somebody's face,
Use the right hemisphere,
the right
brain,
to
to recognize. Hey.
Omari, what do you want to say? Say it.
It's a lie.
How is it a lie?
Is it superstition or
No.
How is it a lie?
Scientifically proven.
Maybe you have something for us. Tell us.
Which science proved that?
It is scientifically proven. So for further information, I would urge you strongly to do research.
But Omari, why do you say so? Tell us. Maybe you have a reason. We'd like to know.
I don't want to be attacked because today I can see you are fresh.
So with that statement, no, I had the right brain, and I had the
Are you being serious?
I'm being serious.
Why not the left and why the right?
Yeah, I mean, who said we have a right brain and
So what is the left brain used for?
It is also used in, it has a small part in processing the facial.
So
Why
you're
looking at
telling
my
me
face?
that human beings, we have two brains in our head.
Right and then left.
Left.
The right is for recognizing.
Oh, you don't
the
know?
faces of people.
DJ
Yeah,
Rob, please
for-
give us the brain again.
So one is here and one is
Yes, combine together.
here. Hey.
Maybe we'll use it for experiment.
What are you experimenting?
And the Egyptian thing too. Which vein does what?
Oh, it's a superstition. For that, it's a superstition.
Oh.
They believe that this vein is connected to the heart. That is why it's called vena amoris, meaning vein of love. You see the brain, two brain attached.
Hey.
The right hemisphere and the left hemisphere.
I'm looking at just one brain. So
Yes,
where
that's what I
Man,
was
same here.
Hey, you people.
Oh no! You're the one
we are in
educating
your
us.
class today.
We are in class today.
So we need to understand what you are trying to.
So tell us.
Meet me in chamber.
Oh, of course, we'll meet you in chambers. So you tell us the right and then the
I
left.
feel like-
What is used for?
It's a way, you know, sometimes you'll be sitting like this, but I can see what is going here, and I still can't see what is
So,
going
but that
here.
is you
That's
looking
your
at.
eye.
That's your eye, but
it
not
looks
your
like
that's
brain.
your
fixed
brain.
to your
Do you know
brain.
the eye gives information to the brain? Do you know?
Okay, for that one, I'm
So
aware.
it connects
The-
to the brain.
The entire body. It's responsive.
Oh, I see.
Huh.
Yeah, true. So that's the left and that's the right. Oh, you can
Hey.
see it, Madam Omar. You can see it. You can see it.
Central.
Mm.
Chai.
They just want us to believe that we have two brains
two
in
brains.
one.
Hey, it's when you
It's
know.
just one brain. Brain is a brain.
Oh no, but you can see the demarcation, right? Can't
That-
are you telling me you can't
the
see the
demarcation
demarcation?
doesn't make
I want
it.
to see real
Okay,
brain.
how many
like
Ghanaians
real
do we have?
brain.
How
Oh, of
many
course, we
words?
have just one.
But look at the demarcations. How many regions do we have in Ghana?
Oh,
16.
you can't compare that to the.
We can. It's the same brain. It's just one brain.
Oh.
All these demarcations also, but doesn't make it two brains. Then it's half.
How is it half?
And it's a
I
half
have
or
to
half.
Google
or-
whether we have two brains.
Yes.
Mhm.
The brain is divided into two halves.
Ah,
The
So you
left
see. So it's
Yes, that is what I said.
So that's
we
the left
we
hand.
don't have two brains. It's just one brain.
So it's just one and it's demarcated into
Well, who
two.
said we have
for
two
that
brains?
I can try.
Who
to
said we
agree.
have two brains? I said we have the right and the left.
So
You didn't hear her say we have two
she
brains.
said it all.
Yeah, I said we have
But
two.
yeah,
Hey,
left and left
I
and
said
Read it.
Let me read what I said. Yes, when recognizing a person's face, you use the right side of your brain. While both hemispheres play a role,
Okay,
the
so
right
side
hemisphere of the brain is
Okay.
generally considered the primary area for face recognition, and the left hemisphere also involved in processing facial information. And now Google is telling us that the brain is divided into two halves, the left and the right hemisphere, which are connected by a band of tissue called the corpus callosum, allowing communication between two. So now, do you understand why the left hemisphere
Yes,
is
please, I do.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I won't let you finish.
See, if you want to argue with this man, do you know within the week I actually wanted to call him on video call?
Hey!
So that you see how it feels like.
Today, I would call him at exactly 1:00 a.m.
Thank God my phone will be off.
Oh.
Now you see, your phone will be off.
All right. So God willing, tomorrow, 11th March, they will be reading the budgets. What are your expectations? What are you expecting the government to incorporate into their
The
budget?
words in the WhatsApp group just said something that they are expecting the better house.
yeah.
You mean the investment?
The investors.
Ooh,
Investors.
the investors.
Yeah.
I see.
They
You're
want
expecting
the-
that it will be taken off.
Off.
For me, I'm praying for the E-levy.
E-levy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm praying for the
Personally, I'm also
E-levy.
praying for the E-levy.
I'm praying for
It's,
the
it's
E-levy.
very annoying.
Yeah.
Like,
E-levy.
Coco's Kappa, no, yeah.
Oh, I trust and believe it would be scrapped.
Oh, let's
Yeah,
hope
it's
so.
Well, let's hope.
But definitely there will also be introduction of some taxes to cover.
Oh no,
it.
they said this
We-
time
we-
around
we've read
no introduction of
Yeah.
new
New
taxes.
taxes.
Yes.
As long as
you
they bring the
believe
toll
that?
booths back, we are good to go.
And you believe
Because
that?
the toll booths generate a lot of money.
Look at the number of cars that
When you
use,
even pass it, you pay. When you even leave something, you are coming back, you pay.
you pay. For that one, you pay. And I think the finance minister is doing a very great job by
Yeah.
going down to the market women to interact with them.
Yeah.
And yesterday too, he held a space on Twitter to hear from the youth as well. I
That's
joined that, and I must say it was very fun.
He's brilliant.
Oh yes, and I think that was a good one there.
Yeah. And
Going
then COVID tax. I mean, taxes that do not make sense. They should scrap
Yeah,
all those
yeah,
taxes.
let's cover tax.
Say
COVID
Scrap.
is no more, but we are paying COVID tax.
Yeah,
You have
Wow.
to scrap all that.
Have you also seen this trending hashtag, which has to do with winning red?
When you read.
Yeah, I saw it.
When you
When you
read.
read.
I saw a video
Right.
yesterday, and I must say I was very sad.
It's just like when Tramadol came.
Mhm.
People were just
the red,
abusing it to
the
bring
red
it up.
is another
Form of-
And
Yeah.
I learned it's even
But with
higher
the
than.
higher dose.
Tramadol itself.
that 250?
Like they come in grams.
Yeah.
The highest you can go in Ghana is 50 grams. You shouldn't even do more than 50. And the red is about 250. So you
You know,
can imagine.
these people are misusing the drugs because I feel these drugs are only used in severe accidents
Yeah.
case and maybe
Yeah.
during a
A
surgery
very
or
severe
something.
pain.
Yeah.
As these people are just abusing it
And I feel this drug should be given to you in the hospital.
in the hospital.
So how is it
And
getting into
even
our
in the
system?
pharmacy
How-
with the
how?
doctor's prescription?
The whole thing, the 250 is not even legal in Ghana. So we shouldn't have it in Ghana.
So
So how come we are having them? That's the questions we should be asking.
Yeah, I
This-
saw an
yeah.
article where a certain pharmaceutical institution was closed down due to the importation of this illegal. Is it opioid or something?
Yeah, opioid. Yeah,
They were closed
opioids.
down.
And just recent, I see 290 million of cigarettes and something was
Yeah,
illegally imported.
Intermally.
Yeah, yesterday.
Intermally.
Yesterday, intermally. But how are these drugs getting into Ghana if it's illegal?
Yeah.
Is it that the FDA is not working, or those that are the ports that are supposed to check the containers are not doing their job properly?
Last Friday, when Dr. George was here, we were discussing some of these things, and you can realize that the state institutions who are responsible for making sure these things don't happen, because aside them, who else has the authority to be at the ports to be checking these things? I don't have it, you don't have it. The military don't even go there to check these things. So you, the FDA, who is responsible, that means you are being incompetent. We should be questioning them.
Do you think it's being incompetent, or rather they are being, should I say, bought, or they are being bribed?
Yeah, it all falls under incompetence. Because if you can be bought as an institution, then you shouldn't even be an institution.
And that's some of them. That's their business. That's the business they do. And I learned there is more money in that when you import something illegally, especially when it has to do with this drugs, marijuana, and cigarettes and stuff. They make a lot of money, and it is the youth that are suffering.
So, what is the government doing to these people? Are they catching them? Are they punishing them?
I think we are punishing the wrong people. Ghana, that's our biggest flaw. We always punish the victims rather than the oppressors. Because if you are looking at those who are responsible for the outbreak of these drugs in Ghana, and you know kotoyan on the Saudi Abanoto, why not the buy on to?
So those taking the drugs should lead them to those that sold them.
Why are you going to lead them?
They won't do it because they're also benefiting.
And the person hiding in some corner, selling it for, let's say, 50 CDs, 20 CDs, or Nisiko, the Kwako importing. So who is importing? These are the people we should be going after.
Obviously, it all boils down to government officials.